intelligence, I don't need to give you brief on that, right? So you all know it's like intelligence executed by machines, and we're just mimicking the human knowledge in a great way, right? In all the possible way. So this is something about artificial intelligence. I'm not going to tell you about that. You may have got to know about from your faculties and all. My job is here to speak in terms of roadmap and all. So I'm just have a certain screen, but there is a question for you. Would you like to go through boring PPTs or would you like to listen some stories? So I'm not good at in terms of presenting PPTs. Okay, so I'll leave it as it is here. Maybe somewhere here. Okay, so I have three stories for you. And why I'm telling you, because I feel when you work or go into the career for AI at a later point of your time, maybe in coming certain months, you need to know like why you are going into that. You need to know like why you wanted to do job or do some research in that particular field. So first you need to get motivated. So I think there are a couple of good encouraging stories out there. There are real-time stories. So I'm going to give you the three stories to you, and I wanted to relate that in a historical the way it is occurred in terms of timelines. I want to get related that what the current stage that is there currently. Okay. So the first story is lies in during the First and Second World War, where like you may have familiar about this as well. There is a one boring person who is a mathematician who mostly work into mathematics, and he's like kind of nerd. Only know algorithms, develop some mathematical equations, and then there is a World War happen. And there is like he's from England, London, and during the World War II, there is like German heavy artillery, German Navy U-boats, and everyone is like dominated by German knowledge and intelligent technologies, right? So there is a one message that even like the UK intelligence services able to grasp, gather, but they don't even able to decode because everything is encoded in a particular encrypted algorithms. So they don't even able to decode. The message was so important because if we get to know that message, one can stop hitting any particular area from bombarding, right? From any particular U-boat or submarine. So that message they able to grasp but not able to detect, decode. So that way they have the information but they don't able to get the actual information, and the tragedy and everything is then again happening. So UK government asks all the mathematicians or the people who are into the research that you are getting so information, so give us something that one can decode and we can prevent the massacre that is happening in the war. But they are failed to do that, right? So then comes to that person. The person again the Messi, and he don't have any life. He's kind of nerd. And at the time, there were stories around like 1945 in that particular timelines when the World War II happened, and person come up with particular analog machine which do decryption of that particular message, and the message is the Enigma, if you have heard it before, right? The Enigma machines. Okay, so good to know that somewhere someone already know about that. So he able to decode that particular message, and that way they able to get the particular hold on the message, and they able to take action before it is execution, right? So that way it is supposed, or um, uh, it is like everyone is telling that that particular person is able to save many lives through his knowledge, through his mathematics and algorithms, and with his machine. These are the Enigma machines. And the machine at the age where there is no digital things were happening, everything is analog, and he able to make that happen. The person name is Alan Turing. He was in the computational in terms of machine learning. He wanted to mimic something automatic way. Something is encrypted. The machine should decrypt it. So he is not only thinking about for his time. He is thinking like beyond his time, like how the artificial intelligence can be embedded there, and how the artificial intelligence can be used. So this is something in a wartime. So you can imagine how many lives that is getting saved, and so the person is now like someone is pioneering AI. You know about Alan Turing maybe. How many of you seen the Imitation Game? Very few. So go and see. It's a good movie, and that is specifically on the Alan Turing. Okay. So that is the one story that is happening in the timeline that is there in the 1940s and 50s, right? So let me take you 1980s maybe. And I'm telling you about this about one of the product or use case that the Google DeepMind came up. Okay, you already I think heard the person come yesterday from Google, right? So it's a privilege to have someone is from there, right? So I'm telling you about a second story that is from Google DeepMind. So, but before that, I'm telling you about a game that is Go. The game that is humans are playing from 2500 years, and from then there we are developed certain intellect, strategy, and knowledge about the game, right? The game is mostly getting played in like eastern side of Asia, maybe from Korean, Japanese side. I don't know the origin, but the games are mostly popular and played around, right? So, and this is from 2500 years. So humans have developed all the intellect, knowledge, strategy, how to play the game, how to like win a particular game. The game is very simple. So there is an opponent and you. You need to increase your territory across the opponent, and the way you increase the opponent will like you win in that particular. So you need to increase your territory across the opponent. So game is very simple. It is mostly getting played in fables, maybe black and white. You may have seen that on the internet, right? So that is the game Go. So Google, and we have like there is a like world champion Lee Sedol. He's like continuously winning and is a world champion in that particular game. So Google DeepMind developed an AI that is called AlphaGo. So AlphaGo has given all the historical information, tactics, how to play games. So AlphaGo has seen all the videos, all the knowledge acquired, and AlphaGo know like how to play the games, right? So that way, the AI is built upon all the knowledge and advancement that is there happening in that particular certain timelines. So then there is a game happened between Lee Sedol, who is like recent world champion, continuously winning, and with the AI. And the AlphaGo is not only able to beat Lee Sedol one time, two time, but like 100 out of 100 times. So again, something we have as a human knowledge pursued from last 2500 years, someone has come up with certain weeks and certain maybe months and able to build human. So this is something inspiring, right? So someone artificial, something has been developed. You may have heard these stories on YouTube many times, right? So I just wanted to connect dots, so I'm come up with this particular stories, right? So then there is one more AI again from the Google DeepMind, and this time the AI called Google AlphaGo Zero. Okay, now this time AlphaGo Zero has not given any historical information, even have not given any particular tactics or rules or how to play the games and something like that, right? And given a very limited span amount of time to learn a game, and the AI was built upon neural network, and now the game happened between AlphaGo and AlphaGo Zero, and again AlphaGo Zero able to beat AlphaGo. So AI versus AI, and AI recent AI is able to beat the earlier AI. So now the game that we are playing again, so all the knowledge pursued by one particular artificial machine, and they are able to beat getting those particular knowledge. So there are lots of other AI happening in the game areas, right? Even open AI is able to build the pro player Dundee in that particular gaming arena. So something is that humans are getting challenges from AI. So you need to know like why and how this particular technology is getting developed, invented, and so popular. So you must have heard ChatGPT and all. We'll come to that particular point. So this is something going very popular, and there are challenges happening to humans as well, like whatever the knowledge that we have. So that is the second story, right? Now, since we are speaking about career, so I again want to tell you like one particular person who is very boring kind of. In his college days, he's like never come out from his hostel rooms. Again, like very messy, and he's like what you can say is very lazy in doing his work, right? So at that time there is a traditional coding like Java and all other C, C++, right? He's also doing his research in that particular area, and so he come up with his own strategy in terms of programming. He wanted to have that something that he needs to write in boilerplate code, maybe like in lines. He wanted to make it like automated in one single line or maybe in a very limited patterns of line. So he come up with his own rules, his own version of language. And at certain, I think, cafe or something, he shown to his friend and friends like him, okay, why cannot you name this language, which will be so efficient in terms of like getting done any particular ideas or implementation and all. So the person was again so lazy, he was again busy in just developing that particular rules that he has written. That language is Python and that person is Van der Waals. You may have aware about that, right? I'm telling you this particular story is because like whatever we are seeing mostly in AI, ML, machine learning, whatever the use case that you develop, mostly you see that is done in Python, right? So Python is something has been written by a person who's like done in a very lazy way. So having the lazy is always good. So the story that this is the third story, and I like to end on that. So something that you are here to like for this particular stream that you are learning, so you can get aware about that. This particular way you can not only stop the war, you can create such a thing which is like incredible maybe in a coming time. So you are already in a good way, good track. So you are already having Python, I think, in your career, right? You are learning that. So this is something very necessary. I mean, Java, we can do AML in Java as well. R is there, C++. These are, of course, those are there. But Python is having vast community, and so many libraries are there. Most of the recent libraries, like TensorFlow, Scikit-learn, PyTorch, those are the Python API. So you got to know about that, right? I think you're already using it in your curriculum. Right? So those are the stories I wanted to get motivated with. So we'll do the way like I'll go through certain roadmaps. I think you guys need to follow, and then we'll have a question and answer session maybe at the end of the time, and we'll discuss like what are the questions that you have accordingly. Okay? So so I'll just quickly switch over to another slide. Now I'm going to take the presentations. Okay? So whenever if you are into AML or non-AML, any computer related things, you need to get aware about computer science first, right? This is the prerequisite. You need to have certain knowledge acquired, right? You need to have a certain understanding about mathematics. You need to know about statistics, right? You need to have that basic understanding get clear first, right? So, I mean, you are seeing computational is so vast and is rapidly evolving. So you have your mobile phones having lots of code inside, processing powers, right? So these are like evolving so fast because of the device and the power that you have in your hand, right? So all the algorithms that is there in AI, or the mathematics that is there, yeah, and those were there in 1960s as well. The like Hessians, Jacobians, whatever the mathematics that is what there, that was there in past as well, right? But what's happening recently in 2010 and 12? Why it's just sudden change and sudden boost in AI/ML application and industry development, right? Because we have developed certain processing powers. The devices are so effective now. The thousands of calculation can be done so effectively because of the processing power evolvement and the devices that we have, right? It was not happening at that time, but now it is happening. So the data that the way you are processing is tremendous. And that's why like you need to know what's the mathematics and what is the statistic, how the particular AI/ML is getting used with this particular. So, I mean, why computer science is like you can see any computer which is having file processing or memory management is nothing but Unix. You agree with that maybe. Net-top computer, the supercomputer, everything is Unix, right? iOS, Mac, OS X, whatever they like. If you go to the Apple website and about it page, they like boast themselves and they have certain lines that we are based upon rock solid Unix platform. They mention clearly and they're proud about that, right? Windows is like, even though they are Unix based, but they generally don't post about that, but it is actually Unix based, right? Linux. So all the OSs, which is now you are seeing in mobile devices and everywhere, those are nothing but nothing like but the Unix base, right? So you need to know certain knowledge about Unix operating system, how it is getting developed, why in 1979 like Dennis Ritchie and Ken Thompson work on that, right? What exactly they did, and in 1973 something like there is a next version, and then after there is no other version. So how the foundation has been developed, you need to know about that. I'm sure it is not everything is that is can be done in limited span of time, but you need to know, you need to have certain awareness about this particular, right? Because you are working on such a technology which demand this particular knowledge. This will be helpful for you in a longer span of time when you go and build certain application for the particular use cases. So you need to know this particular knowledge. I think that's my understanding. You need to have some basic understanding about Unix at least. Okay. In terms of mathematics, I think whatever the mathematics you are learning in your engineering or up to from the 12th onward, those are good. So, but these are the basic things, right? You need to know like how the Hessian or Jacobians working, but not in thoroughly. I mean, it's okay not to, because there is so many APIs available, and you can use it directly. But this is just in terms of knowing how things are happening under the hood. For that sake of purpose, you need to know this particular high level of mathematics at least. So that's why I included that. So I mentioned that person who developed Python, right? So now you can see the creation of that particular individual is spreading so fast. So in AI ML, you may have used so many libraries, right? For the NLP, mostly Spacey is getting used, NLTK is getting used, right? Or TensorFlow, for the computer vision, you use OpenCV, and so many libraries are there. Most are having APIs in Python, right? You agree with me? With me, right? R is also one of the language. Usually earlier, if I can say roughly 2-3 years back, or maybe 15 or before, R is mostly used for the statistic and getting like used in machine learning as well. So R is also good, Java is also good, but I can say that Python has taken a lead ahead in terms of like having so many spread community and help that you get generally for as a developer during your implementation. You usually get help very easily in Python. So you need to know about this programming language at least. So basically you need to know about the basic concept, not only theoretically but practically. You need to have some hands-on, that is requisite I guess. So, and this is the time in your like student area, like you can play around, try certain things, you can build certain application, you can have your GitHub pages, not just for showcasing, but have something being created there, okay? So, this is the time that you can utilize, and whenever you go in terms of like applying for the jobs, or maybe you are developing something as a product for your own ideas or organization, this will definitely useful. So having this programming language knowledge is necessary. And this is why I think this is already included in your curriculum, I guess. I'm not seeing the syllabus, but I think it is already being included. So having just some knowledge about Python is not necessary. You need to know how to write a production-based code, right? So there are lots of tutorials available on YouTube. You can go and get the concept clear. But even though this is at a certain level, at a certain extent, but for the production level, you need to know how to write production level code, how to write particular classes in a fashion which will be encoded properly in a particular architecture. You need to know the design pattern as well, right? So this is very necessary. Most of that, this is the kind of tools that you are going to get used. But basically, there is one more thing, that is data structure that you need to have in your PD. You need to have certain awareness about that. How the different data structures are getting used, right? If there is optimization supposed to be made, how the things can be planned. Even if you go for the interviews for Google or any other big companies, even you have experience with like 4 years, 5 years, the basic question they ask, that is on data structure, right? So this is something very useful, something that you need to practice hard, get the understanding. So this is again important thing. So I think you already have an internship, I think in your last semester maybe, or maybe, so most of the colleges do have, where they expose their student with industrial, having some, getting some industrial experience in terms of like internship, right? So this is something that is very important. So most of the offerings that are there in Nagpur as well. So internship for AI specific work is also offering. So if you get a chance to do some internship on a particular use cases which is AI based or machine learning based, you should do that. This is, I think, very important because you build a knowledge, now you are implementing, but with a professional that is there around, right? So do some projects or internship. This is something very important for your career. So if I say AI/ML itself is having like lots of domain inside, right? So many areas in AI/ML, right? So one is for computer vision, other is for natural language processing, and so many other classifications and like text engineering and many things. So having knowledge for all is good, but you need to pick something and go ahead and to develop your understanding, drill down into that, go into deeper, get your full understanding for one particular model at least, and then it will be something can be good to showcase in your resume, and one can like easily speak on the particular model. So pick any particular model. I think that's my suggestion. That rather than to go with all, have something one, and you have complete understanding about that particular model. So this is necessary. Like there are many things going on in computer vision. Have you heard about Open3D? Anyone? Okay. Anyone of you heard about MediaBike? Okay. So you must have seen so many use cases, like use case for the face mesh, right? Use case for the holistic, use case for the like pose estimation, right? And you also notice there is a API for Python, right? So this is okay for educational purpose, but you need to drill down into that. You will see in coming days lots of application that is based upon MediaBike, maybe on your app or maybe like certain application or desktop version maybe. But MediaBike is something rapidly growing up, so take a look into that. So this is a computer vision specific library, and it's developed by Google, and it is mostly used for object detection, classification, and many other things. So I think you should have that library. So, okay, let me, maybe I'm just gone ahead, you can go back to the NLP. So, natural language processing, ma'am is already, I think, have done some into that NLP, right? So, natural language processing is again something very important. So, how many of you know ChatGPT? So many of you. So see like how something is from AI is gaining so popularity, right? So it is based upon GPT 3.5 for now. GPT 4 will launch again, and it's a generative trained transformer, right? And it is NLP based, so it is being trained on last structure of corpus of data, and you can it's just like human like behavior in terms of chatting. So human like responses that we get from the ChatGPT, right? So there is nothing to mention apart from that. I mean, ChatGPT 4 will come up with many other things, but this is something you need to consider, like how the things will happen from NLP. So this is one of the use case for the NLP, which is gaining so much popularity. We are seeing the search engines from past, which is like generic one, Google search engines, which is not evolved, even though evolved in terms of processing and performance, but we are seeing the similar structure, right? But someone has developed some product which is now behaving like a human way, giving a human touch, right? You ask and ask to like give us answer in a particular manner, it will give us, right, in a response. So ChatGPT is one of the examples that is there from NLP. And so that is one thing in terms of you may have already gained the knowledge about, but be attentive in terms of any workshop that is happening, any particular conference if there is happening there. I think you need to get in touch with those particular seminar, because that will be useful at the end. So that's it. And that is a professional network that you need to build whenever you go into when you leave this education sector and you go into for the job prospects. So you need to build a professional network accordingly. So once you develop or maybe have experience around, let's say you gain a certain experience, 3 years, 4 years, and you have working experience now, I suggest and always suggest to do some academia in terms of going in the higher education. So for this particular area in AIML, you can you can do your master or like any master degrees and get more understanding, and later on to the PhD thesis preparation or then PhD research proposal or maybe research on that area. So that way it will not keep you on the particular field, it will keep you into the research more, and you gain like some more understanding, not only just to build application, but to develop a capability in terms of research where you can come up with your own ideas and develop and make an entrepreneurship from that particular. So I always suggest to move ahead further and just don't stick with a job. Go ahead and develop your own and have an entrepreneur's mindset and do some PhD as well, or maybe any masters in the particular area. That is necessary, I think. So there are lots of certifications available. Nowadays you can see like Coursera, Udemy, list of certifications that is offering for AIML are very huge, right? So I also suggest you can do that. It's completely up to you. But they are offering from IITs as well. So IIT Kharagpur. So those are IITs. They are offering courses for AIML, and those are there on their site. And these are like postgraduate kind of diploma courses as well. But these are good in terms of knowledge. If you go on Coursera, you can do your stuff there as well. But this is something getting taught by someone who's there in IIT. So you have to check those particular availability. Those are also very important. So those particular certifications are very important that is offering from the IITs. Again, there are lots of specialization that is offered from TensorFlow or Imperial College of Engineering or any other that is there in Coursera. I think that is again very useful and important. So I think on that note, I already mentioned most of the things here. I'm open to like for question and answer. So any other questions or any question that you have in terms of career, I'm open here. Any question?
So एक क्वेश्चन था, मैं बात कर सकता हूँ?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
Okay. So अगर अपने को एक शायद प्रोडक्ट बनाना है, so सोचे कैसे? उसमें अगर AI डालना है तो AI के थ्रू सोचे, या फिर सबसे पहले प्रोडक्ट के बारे में सोचे उसमें AI डालें?
Okay. So if you are building any product, so that means you have certain ideas in your mind, right? So that is a prerequisite. So अगर वो idea है तो you have to get awareness about what are tech stack that's supposed to be get there. So the idea is have a requisite in terms of data. So you need to do data gathering, right? So once you have a data, you need to have your use cases. Maybe that is mindset that use cases maybe related with AI/ML or maybe with automation done. So those are the ideas that I think you already there in your mind. So there are lots of tech stack. You need to classify use cases accordingly. So pre-version that you can build, you can try different technologies, but you need to know like if you're graduating in a particular area, then you I think get an understanding about whether it is like AI related or non-AI related. So ML related or non-ML related. So you get that understanding, right? Then there is a utilities, lots of available in the market. You can check any particulars and you can develop your idea in terms of implementation, right? So to know your ideas, to do some understanding, do some groundwork about your ideas, कि whether ये AI के लिए है, non-AI के लिए, it's up to you. I mean, you get to know from your ideas itself. So and there are lots of libraries you can implement along with. I hope I'm able to answer that question.
Good morning, sir, and one and all present here. My name is Tejas Katse, and as you asked, as you tell that for the experience building, we need to do internships. So my question was how we find those internships. As most of the internships are paid internships, so how we could find those internships who provide the stipend to the students.
I mean, first and foremost, I think it is mostly how the your TNP officer will do the particular groundwork. If it is not getting from your TNP officer, you need to do some networking, maybe on LinkedIn. You need to approach. There are lots of facilities or lots of small test companies as well. They are offering internship specific to your stream, whatever your chooses, right? In Nagpur as well, like Kaiser Software uses interns from last 4 5 years, right? So we are recruiting for internship. So there are other companies as well. So you need to like go outside, maybe not outside in terms of like maybe on a portal, identify which are the offering that is there in your city or maybe remote, where the internship is there. It's completely up to you how you are networking. But yeah, there are lots of other organizations which are offering for the internship. So for our case, so what we do is like we approach colleges, we approach mostly TNP, and we are seeking students who are interested in a particular technology. Let's say for the UIX, React, and particular JavaScript that we are looking for, right? So we approach TNPs mostly, and if there is certain need and requirement, accordingly we plan a visit and interviews will happen. So there are other companies as well in Nagpur or any other part in Maharashtra mostly. So internship is something, if not come up from TNP, you need to go ahead and check. There are many portals. LinkedIn is the most affordable and good to reach with a particular individual, and I think that is the one way to get a particular internship done, I guess. Yeah.
Sir, as we know in the world of machine learning and AI, the data is the most important thing.
Yeah.
If I am building any machine learning model where the data is not available in the internet and all, so where we can gather that data?
So, first of all, data, I mean, before that, I'll let you know that we are producing so much of data from our handheld devices, right? You see so many of apps that we use are gathering data, many forms of data that you are like actually giving us over the internet from your devices, right? So, so that means that is a one particular thing. Other thing is like there are sources specifically for the internet. If you're using internet, then there are sources for Kaggle and any other sources as well. ChatGPT is one more example. If you have an internet, you can prepare data and do the data gathering from there. The other thing is like if you mention if we don't have any internet or any connectivity or network, I think you need to prepare your data on your own through surveys, through getting some samples data from any particular universities or libraries, and from there you need to prepare a data accordingly. So, but I think that won't be the case for most of the data through internet or to doing some Python work. So Beautiful Soup is also a good example for that, for doing and gathering the data for the internet for any particular website or Wikipedia. So you can build your own script and get the data from there. So I think that is a one particular case you can get a data easily. Many other universities they are offering data freely. One can get the data from there. I'll give you one example. So there is a university from Germany who are giving us the brain samples for all the particular patients who's having schizophrenia, and those data are gathered from around 50 to 60 patients, and the data was so quality. One can get AI developed in 2014, I guess, and it was so efficient in terms of accuracy and coverage, where one can get a particular pre-information whether the person is having schizophrenia or not. The data was not majorly available on the internet, but any forum that you visit or any particular there, so people are easily sharing data through email, through that particular means. Even their particular, if you reach out to them, they will easily share if you are doing some analytical research work. So data can gather from that means of channel as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So if there is no other question, let me maybe give you one example, a real-time example that I personally have seen, and based on that I'll sum up. Okay. So we are building one particular application around 2017 that is on NLP, and the example that I am giving you is in terms of like how automation is like giving away the human jobs, right? How it is impacting to the human jobs there. So we are working one of the use case for Australian New Zealand Bank, and there we are developing one particular use case for there, like we need to develop one particular AI application, and the use case is very simple, right? So let's say that one particular ship is carrying certain goods, is moving from one country and going to another particular country, and meantime they are like seeing so many other countries in terms of, let's say the ship is moving from Mediterranean Ocean, then there is so many small countries like according Iran, like Syria, right? So each time when the ship is moving to the particular zone or area of that particular country, he needs, or the ship needs to do the documentation work, right? So each time when the particular ship move into that particular other country area, they again do the documentation work, manually putting some data into the computers, right? So and data, so like what the ship name, what the ship is carrying, list of goods, right? And which particular bank the ship is dealing with, what the carrier of the ship, right? And which particular point the ship is moving into. So all those particular document data, right? And the data is in PDF format, and the data is like having, one PDF is having like 80 to 90 pages. So you can imagine how manual work will it be. Like one can go and read the PDF, get the data from there and put it in the machine, right? And for that, the Australian New Zealand Bank is having like manual work done, and they have like 2,000, 3,000 manual workers as a data operator, data entry operator sitting in Hyderabad or in New Zealand. So we were developing that application to make it automate. So we developed one application that is called Text AI, and the application is very simple. You just need to read PDF, convert that PDF into the raw text, right? Applying with OCR, and then apply natural language processing in terms of name entity recognition, right? You get a raw data, and from that you get to know that okay, there is an organization name, that is the ship name, that is the particular list of goods. So we are doing that very efficiently, and the time that usually that is taken around like 1 or 2 hours for one particular ship for a particular document, now it is taking around like 1 or 2 seconds. So fraction of seconds. So how many time, efforts and everything get reduced. Even oil gets saved, right? Time gets saved. So everything was good, everything was working good. But later we got to know that the people, that is, we had 2,000 individuals that were working in terms of data operating jobs in Hyderabad as well as sitting in New Zealand, they lost their job. So that is the one particular thing, practically the experience is something that I used to read on article, okay, data is getting taken away by AI or artificial intelligence. That is something that I experienced myself, that this is actually happening. So I'm not feeling like I'm not giving you anything like that, but keep in mind that there will be the always alternative. If something has been like automated in that way, there will be other creative way as well. But this is the one case that is actually happening. So this is how the automation or AI in general is affecting, or maybe affecting in a good way as well, because in that way we are reducing oils and time. But that is the one case that I want to like present you. So yeah, that's it from my side. If there is any questions, I'm still here. Yeah.
Sir, can you suggest the company name or the organization name who are specifically targeting the AIML students?
AIML students. So is it in general for the Nagpur or like in overall?
In general, overall.
So I mean there are many companies like in industry you can say like most of them are coming into AIML, right? So many companies because like this is something that no one wanted to be left behind, right? They wanted to catch that particular boat because everyone is running into AI, right? They wanted to get application or if they are in service based, any particular IT company, they wanted to have the AI in their particular tech domain, right? So many companies are now looking into, or mostly the IT companies, they are looking into experts that they actually need, or students who are like learning AI. So many companies are there. One company is like, of course, I can say that is Kagura Software. So we are like recruiting from past like 3 to 4 years for the individual they have interest to move into AI or machine learning, or someone who has done something and wanted to join AI/ML. So we are the one company that we are definitely looking into and we are open to. There are many other companies as well. I think as per my knowledge, just a second. There is a Converge AI as well. There is a one company and many other companies as well. Even Persistent and TCS, they are mostly looking into go for the AI specific application and domain. So those are the companies as well. And I think there won't be any IT company who don't want to go into the AI ML. So it is kind of 1:1 ratio maybe in coming time. So every IT company wanted to put their hands in the AI. So and yeah, in terms of internship, it is always good. If I take my example, so we always need guys who already have or done something in machine learning or learn something. So having that experience already in hand is always good for us, rather than to give them in terms of some tutor like teaching them or putting some extra efforts. Someone is already having that knowledge is always good for us, because those efforts is not required in later time. So application development and building is a smooth process later. So for us, like we are definitely looking for.
Means all IT companies are open. Like
Mostly,
which move
mostly,
they are taking the
mostly, yes, mostly.
thanks.
Any other question, guys?
Sir,
Yeah.
one more question. Sir,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
सर जैसे कि आईटी का बेसिक क्या है, वेट और ऐप, ओके. सो जब एआई आ जाएगा पूरे डीपली मीन्स सभी एआई हो जाएगा, सो ये जो बेस है ये हटके कुछ नया आ सकता है या फिर यही रहेगा?
I don't think so. पहले तो AI already there now. So we are seeing from 2015 onwards, most of the application now we are seeing that is autopilot car and likewise, right? Other application that we are mostly seeing from 2015 onwards, right? So AI is already getting their holds, and most of the application AI is now you are seeing as well, right? You use Google Photos. Any of you use Google Photos?
Yes.
Right? So you can see, like even if you like upload certain images, it can definitely like categorize the images as per the name, as per the location, right? Categorize where the image has been taken, right? Even you can search the images by name, right? So this is something AI embedded there. Amazon, you purchase something, you get one example down the bottom that you can purchase. If you purchase monitor, it will list down for the mouse, right? So AI is there already. So now whether it is everything is AI or I really don't think so. So I personally believe in like okay, AI will get certain intellectual. Maybe we can say. I mean, I personally think like currently we are in in average of AI technology like. But let's say in coming 10-15 years, we have super intelligent AI developed. Maybe even then, like it will be not something that human can like cannot have a control or hold of. Even though you have seen lots of Elon Musk videos, but still there won't be the case like everything is AI. But you will see lots of AI there, definitely, right? So if you visit Runway ML, if you visit Luma.ai or you chat GPT or Transformer, many things are like building such a use cases which you will see in your handheld devices in coming days, maybe in coming months as well. That will be AI based. So AI is something, the boat has been already gone up, already taken into journey. So that there will be AI. The creativeness will increase definitely. Automation will increase. So manual efforts of the job that we usually have in terms of manually doing, that will somewhat get reduced maybe. But what I think is like human has kind of wisdom that AI will not have later. Maybe they have intellect, but wisdom is something that is we human perceive. So I don't think much, but yeah, you will definitely see AI everywhere.
और मेटा में कोई रोल है उसका?
Meta?
मेटा जो
Yeah.
बनाना चाह रहे थे.
Yes, definitely. So creating like digital avatar of a particular individual, definitely. So VFX, like visual graphics and everything, is getting so much developed. Have you heard Unreal Engine from Epic? Do check that. So Meta, that you are mostly reading about recently from Facebook and Microsoft, right? So in VFX, that is like in the area of VFX, this is a big thing going on in movie making, right? So this is a big thing going on. So do check that. Unreal Engine is something very 3i lateral. You can check that as well. Epic, Ubisoft, you can check that. So Meta definitely have AI, because without AI there won't be a computer vision properly like built upon. So and so yeah, I mean AI will be there definitely. Any other question here? Okay, so on that note, I'll sum up my words, and thank you again for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for sharing your knowledge and experience with us today. Your insights on career development were truly inspiring and motivating. We are grateful for your time and expertise, sir. I would request Dr. Mangala Madalkar ma'am to present a memento to Mr. Shirsagar as a token of gratitude. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And a big thank you to all the wonderful audience for joining us and participating in this session. Your presence and engagement have made this event truly special. We look forward to host more such sessions in the future and continuing our journey of self-discovery and career exploration together. Moving forward with the events, now it's time for the preliminary rounds of AI Wizard and Mindscape. So I request all the participants to please move to the respective venues. For AI Wizard, you can have a team of 2 people. For Mindscape, you can have a team of 3 to 4 people. The venue for AI Wizard is in C06 Lab, so I request all the participants of AI Wizard to please move out of F21. Volunteers will escort you to your venues, and Mindscape volunteers and